Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Happy Hanukkah. Hope all is well. Today we have an interesting topic. We're going to be speaking about the true power that a woman has according to the Torah, and really the greatness that women have from Hashem's perspective. So interestingly, we learned that actually Sarah Imenu, Sarah, our foremother, the wife of Abraham, was actually on an even higher level than Abraham. And it's for this reason, Avraham Avinu, one of the holiest people of all time, his holy wife, Sarah Imenu, was on an even higher level. And the reason for this, we see an example of this in the Torah, is that Abraham had multiple children. He had Yitzchak Avinu, Isaac, he had Ishmael, and he had other children. But as holy as Abraham is, the covenant, the connection, the pure connection to Hashem was only possible through specifically his son Isaac. Why? Because Isaac was also from Sarah. Whereas Abraham's children from other women were not a part of the covenant because they were not from Sarah as well. Another example of this is we see, in general, we learn that naturally a woman is actually on an even higher level than a man spiritually. The reason for this is because obviously, each person is different, and it's not to say that all women are on a loftier level, a higher level than all men, or vice versa. It's because each person is different. But on average, women are more spiritually inclined than men. They're more aware of God, and they're more gentle. So by nature, because they have the motherly nature that Hashem bestowed upon them, gave them, they have a natural spirituality within them that makes it easier for them to connect to Hashem in a quicker way. Whereas men, as you know, men have far more mitzvahs to do. A man is required to pray 3 times a day, whereas a woman is only required to pray once a day. A man is required to put on tefillin and say the Shema on time, whereas a woman is not. There's many more commandments, so on and so forth, that men are required, because men need more opportunities to connect to Hashem, whereas women are naturally more aware of Hashem. And we also learn that a king is not able to be a king unless he has a queen. A king of Israel has to be married. He has to have a wife because his wife allows him to reach greater spiritual heights. And we know that actually we're all one with the person we choose to marry one day. We are one with them. We learn that the soul between husband and wife is actually one. Only as it comes down into this world, it is split up into 2. But really above, from Hashem's perspective, it's one soul. And of course, this is not meant to be a competition between the forefathers and the foremothers. We need both of them who are all on the same team here. It's just to emphasize that women have an incredible power from a Torah perspective and have a needed and necessary and appreciated role that they have to be aware of, because you may not see in mainstream media the true respect that Hashem and the Torah has for women. So, our Torah is proof of this. We have 7 prophetesses listed in the Torah. And interestingly, we have 4 foremothers. And actually, Leah, Imenu, Leah, our foremother, is called the first person to show true appreciation to Hashem when she named her son Yehuda. When she had her 4th son, the 4th member of the 12 tribes of Israel, Yehuda, who Mashiach will come from, Leah Imenu said to Hashem, Hapam hodat Hashem, I will show appreciation to Hashem. And it says, until Leah did this, nobody ever showed appreciation to Hashem to this extent. We also learned that the foremothers were willing to give up their life to have children. When Rachel Imenu gave birth to Binyamin, even though she was aware, and even though Yaakov Avinu they were prophets and they were aware that there would be complications with the birth, Rachel Imenu was still yearning to be able to have this opportunity to give birth to another member of the tribes of the sons of Israel. And it's actually, we learned that because of the women, we were saved from Egypt. Because of the women, we were saved from Egypt. We had something interesting as well, that when Pharaoh said they were going to kill all the male Jewish babies, so all the men said, we're not going to have any more kids. Until Miriam, the sister of Moshe, Miriam said to her father, was the leader of their generation, who said you can't have, that they should get divorced and not have children. Miriam said, Pharaoh is killing the males, is killing just the males, but if you stop having children, you're going to kill the males and the females. And she said you have to trust in she's basically saying, even though Pharaoh's going to kill the kids, we have to trust in Hashem, still have children. And that's what happened in Moshe, and that's exactly when Moshe Rabbeinu, the Mashiach of Egypt, of our redemption from Egypt, was born. So we see an interesting reality here, and this is to show that the Torah is so wholesome that we learn that men and women at times they do have different roles in their service of Hashem, but it's not to say one is higher than the other. Just like a puzzle, you see two opposite pieces, you could say, wow, they're so different. This is completely different from this. When things are so different, they fit in perfectly and they connect just like a puzzle. And learn that whatever situation you find yourself in, whatever country you're from, whatever male or female, whatever you are, how tall you are, this is all from Hashem. Hashem is the one who decides all this about you. Also the amount of money you make. This is just to remember that everything that happens to us is not an accident, but rather the one above. Hashem is the one choosing it, and therefore we have to show gratitude. And this is very exciting. So a person should know the power of marriage in Judaism. That a person has to always remember that Hashem created us, male and female, incomplete. And until we find our match, we're in a state of lacking. We're in a state of incompletion. And of course, there's always a time and a place for everything. A person has to remember that actually, once they get married, a whole deeper level of their neshama becomes conscious to them. They become aware of a greater level of reality within their soul. And this is actually just an example of our marriage with Hashem. Because the Jewish people are compared to the bride of Hashem. Hashem is the groom and we're the bride. And at Mount Sinai, we were married. We actually became engaged to Hashem. And it says when Mashiach arrives, we'll become married to Hashem. And we are Hashem's greatest adoration. We're the apple of Hashem's eye. We have to remember that. Remember just how much love Hashem has for each and every one of us. And the way we become aware of the love that Hashem has for us is when we show empathy with others. When we show empathy with others and we see others in difficult situations, and we make our hearts responsive to their situations, and we feel we try to feel others' pain, then we become totally aware of Hashem, because Hashem is the one who feels our pain. He's the one who's sensitive to our needs. Hashem feels our pain infinitely more than we could ever feel our own. So by feeling other people's pain, we emulate Hashem, we walk in Hashem's ways, and we draw down His blessings and His revelation to us upon us. May we merit the coming of Mashiach, where we'll celebrate the true marriage with Hashem, and we'll get to see Hashem's revelation throughout the entire world. May Hashem bless you all.